What if God hasn't forgotten you? He's just not done preparing you yet. Because right now, maybe you're doing everything right. Praying, waiting, trusting, and it still feels like nothing is moving, like heaven is silent, like you're invisible. If that's you, stay with me. Because Joseph felt that too. And what he did next changed everything. Before we go any further, if you've ever felt delayed, overlooked, or like God forgot your name, this channel was built for you. Hit subscribe right now, because what we're about to unpack could literally shift the way you see your entire waiting season. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Most people think God blesses people because they're lucky, or because they prayed at the right moment, or because they were simply chosen. But that's not the full story. Joseph wasn't promoted because God felt sorry for him. He was elevated because he made decisions, quietly, consistently, in places where no one was watching. That positioned him for the favor that was already coming. And today, I want to show you exactly what those decisions were. Because if you're in a waiting season right now, this might be the most important thing you watch this year. Let's set the scene. Joseph, son of Jacob, a young man with a dream from God. But before the palace, there was a pit. His own brothers, the people who were supposed to protect him, threw him in a hole, then sold him like property, stripped him of everything. He ends up in Egypt, a slave, then falsely accused by his master's wife, then thrown in prison for something he didn't do. Years pass, silence from heaven. No angel shows up, no miracle, no explanation, just waiting. Sound familiar? Maybe it's not a pit for you. Maybe it's a job you lost, a relationship that betrayed you, a dream that keeps getting delayed, a door that won't open no matter how hard you knock. Joseph's story isn't ancient history, it's your story, just in a different costume. And here's what made the difference. The 5 decisions. Decision 1. He stayed faithful when life was unfair. Joseph didn't get bitter when his brothers sold him. He didn't shut down when Potiphar's wife lied on him. Genesis 39:2 says, "The Lord was with Joseph, and he became a successful man." But notice, this was while he was a slave, not after. God's presence wasn't waiting for Joseph's circumstances to get better. It showed up in the middle of the mess. Here's the modern-day truth. That person who got the promotion you deserved, that friend who betrayed your trust, that situation that made 0 sense, bitterness would have cost Joseph his future. And it will cost you yours too. Faithfulness in the unfair seasons isn't weakness, it's positioning. Decision 2. He chose discipline over temptation. Potiphar's wife came to Joseph daily, and daily he said no. Not because it was easy, because he had a conviction deeper than his circumstances. He said in Genesis 39:9, "How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" He wasn't performing for people. He was accountable to God. The modern version of this, it's the shortcut that looks like a solution. The compromise that feels justified. The everyone's doing it that slowly reshapes who you are. Joseph understood something most people miss. What you do when no one's watching determines where God can take you. One decision in private can either accelerate your destiny or delay it by years. If this is hitting you where you need it, subscribe. This channel exists for people who are serious about growing spiritually and mentally. You're in the right place. Decision 3. He served with excellence in low places. Joseph was in prison. And Genesis 39:22 says the warden put Joseph in charge of everyone there. He didn't do the minimum. He didn't sulk in the corner. He served like it mattered. Because to God, it always does. This is the one people skip. You're thinking, I'll give my best when I get the right opportunity. But Joseph gave his best in the wrong circumstances. Maybe you're in a job beneath your potential, a role no one respects, a season that feels invisible. Excellence in the low place is what qualifies you for the high place. God doesn't promote who's talented. He promotes who's trustworthy. Decision 4. He trusted God's timing instead of forcing outcomes. Joseph spent 2 full years in prison after helping Pharaoh's cupbearer, a man who promised to remember him and forgot. 2 years of silence. 2 years of waiting on a man who moved on with his life. But Joseph didn't manipulate, didn't scheme, didn't force a door open. Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him. All things, even the delay. Here's what I want you to sit with. The waiting season isn't wasted time. It's formation time. God was not slow. He was thorough. He was building something in Joseph that the palace would require. And he's doing the same thing in you. The question is, are you trusting the process or are you resenting it? Decision 5. He forgave instead of becoming bitter. This is the one that breaks me every time. Joseph finally stands before his brothers, the same men who threw him in a pit, sold him, and lied to his father. He has all the power now. He could have destroyed them. Instead, Genesis 50:20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. He wept. He embraced them. He forgave them. Not because they deserved it, because he understood the bigger story. Unforgiveness is the prison inside the prison. You can be physically free and still be locked up in your own chest, replaying what they did, what they said, how they made you feel. Joseph didn't let what his brothers did to him define what God was doing through him, and neither should you. The person you refuse to forgive isn't in chains. You are. Slow the pace here. Let it breathe. I want you to stop for a second, not to hear another point, just to ask yourself one honest question. What are you doing in your waiting season? Are you preparing or are you just complaining? Are you growing in the silence or are you shrinking? Because Joseph's story doesn't start with the palace. It starts with the pit. And what he chose to do in the pit is exactly why he made it to the palace. The delay is not a denial. The silence is not abandonment. The process is not punishment. God is not done with you. He is not done with you. But the real question is, are you done with yourself? Comment. I'm preparing right now if you're done making excuses and choosing growth, even in the hard season. I want to see you in the comments. Joseph's story is proof of something that cuts against everything the world tells you. The world says, make it happen. God says, become someone I can trust with what's already coming. Joseph didn't chase favor. He became a person favor could find. 5 decisions, in secret, in pain, in prison, with no proof it was working. And one day, it all made sense. It will make sense for you too. Not maybe. Not if you're lucky. If you do the work in the low place, in the silent place, in the unfair place, God will do what only He can do. He doesn't just change lives. He prepares people for the change. Stay faithful. Stay ready. Your elevation is closer than it looks. Share this with someone who's in a waiting season right now. They need to hear this today. See you in the next one.